Hey guys, I'm working on another page in my mini marks journal. Today's page is on the back of a library pocket card, and it already had like a little bit of paint on it and some gesso. And I don't know if you remember, the other day I had extra texture paste, so I just used my Donna Downey Small Pods Repeat stencil and added some of that texture paste to the top of this library pocket page. And I'm going to start out with my Dina Wakley Media acrylic paint in Tangerine and my Catalyst wedge. And I was talking to Sam from Kiss My Creative, and we were talking about like least favorite colors, and I said that primary orange was one that I don't use that often and I don't really care for. So I thought I'd try and challenge myself and use it a little more often. So I'm just using my Catalyst tool to scrape the paint down the page, letting it catch on the texture, and I have a little bit of a gap there where the washi tape is, so I'm going to get out a palette knife and try to make sure that I can cover it up completely. And then I got out this little mark making tool by Dina Wakley as well. And then I have some quinacridone magenta Liquitex Basics acrylic paint, and I'm going to do the same technique with my Catalyst wedge. Starting at the very top this time and holding it at about a 45-degree angle and just running it down the page and letting it catch on the texture. I was going through my old journals and I found a page where I had done this technique, and I'm not sure if I got the idea from somebody, so if this looks familiar to you, like it's somebody else's, let me know so that I can properly shout them out. So next I have Dina Wakley Media in Peacock because I love magenta and peacock. Look at that. Ah, it's just so good. And I switched to a credit card. I'm not really sure why. So I use my credit card in the same way I use the Catalyst tool to apply my paint down my page. And I'm not drying in between layers, but you can. It's not really mixing too much. Next I have some pollen, and that is by Martha Stewart. And I'm just going to use my finger to apply this because I just want a few subtle little pops of this color. I don't want to mix it in too much because I don't want to get like a blendy look. I really want to keep my colors separate. And then I have some Ruby by Dina Wakley Media, and I'm going to add some pops of that as well with my palette knife. And this is like a pointy palette knife, so I'm just using the very, very tip to add some little touches of that because red and turquoise as well, so good. So my plan was to leave white space at the bottom, but because it's such a small page, I accidentally covered up too much of the white space at the bottom, so I thought I'd bring some of that back in. So I'm just taking some gesso and my Catalyst tool and just flipping my page upside down and doing that same technique just with my white paint so that it kind of looks like I left white space at the bottom of the page. And then I got out that mark making tool again and added some touches with that. And then I'm going to dry that completely, and I'm going to take my gel medium. This is the Dina Wakley Media gel medium, and it's a matte finish. And I just smeared it all over my page. I'm using these stickers. They're by Studio Calico. They're just white, and they are sticky because they're stickers. But there's a lot of texture on my page, so I want to be sure that they stay put. So that's why I added a layer of gel medium, and then I can add a layer of gel medium on top as well to make sure they're really sandwiched in there. And then underneath I'm going to, the page I had originally done had black thread underlining the word, but I had this thread on my desk that seemed to match the peacock perfectly, so I decided to use that instead. So I'm just gonna like loop it up and press it into that gel medium underneath my word, kind of so that it's like underlining it. It does get a bit lost, and I think black would stand out a little bit better, but I didn't want white words and black thread, and I couldn't find any black letters this size, so this is what we went with. So I'm adding some gel medium on top of everything as well then. And then for a finishing touch, I have my Posca paint pen in the ultrafine tip, and I'm just going to do a little bit of journaling there coming down underneath my word there on the right side. And I'm just making sure to really exaggerate my loops and my swoops, and that's pretty much my secret to my epistemic writing is exaggerated loops and swoops. And then to balance it out a little bit, I'm adding a little bit up at the top as well. And then I'm going to use the pen to add splatters, although I don't really like doing that because you don't have that much control over it. I feel like you get better control with a paintbrush.